Welcome, everybody. This is Conan Exiles after the current patch, or rather update that they put into the sorcery. 3.0, I believe, is what it is. As you can see, there is some serious issues going on. This is a very large constructed structure. Every wall, every block is completely missing. I can sort of guess where my doors are since I kind of built it myself, so I'm very aware of where everything usually is. But it's as you can see, it's kind of guesswork. I'm actually walking on solid foundation floor, which is made out of, I believe it was nomadic building blocks, and also the Yamatai building blocks was used in this construction. As you can see, I know where the door is. I remember I had to duck to get through it because my character was rather tall. The animal pen still seems to be intact. As you can see, the queen is still just fine in there. Um, but yeah, my clothing was Yamatai and Yamati, and it's creating some serious invisible man problems. So unfortunately, there was a lot of issues. As you'll see, we're coming up on the dancer here. She's missing her breasts and a big chunk out of her back, like she was some sort of a robot. But the throne is missing. It's also, it seems to be every piece that is not main game building blocks seems to have disappeared entirely. These staircases, the ceiling tiles, the chest boxes, all that is main game building blocks. It's not the expansion stuff. So any DLC stuff that I've used during the building concept, a lot of these buildings in the area is completely missing. So whatever they did during the Swords and Sorcery update, as I call it, or the Sorcery update, if you will, has completely vanished, and a lot of it is not even intact. So very, very weird. But please, yeah, I'm just showing you around of all the different stuff that's going on and all the different things that are missing. So yeah, enjoy this little skit, and I will talk some more here right shortly. As you can see here, I'm coming up on the. I couldn't remember where my path was there, so I kind of had to jump over it. But I'm coming up on what we called the smithy shelter, which was to smelt ore, and then also the next one to it was for smelting in stone into your brick. So the brickworks, as we preferred to call it. So the two smelteries, more or less the brickworks, and then the iron forge on the other side. As you can see, all the flooring tiles are missing, walls are missing, ceilings are there. A lot of this building structure is missing. A lot of the tile sets we used for decoration are also missing. I will, of course, come back to this later on when everything is patched in and fixed in, which they are releasing a patch, I believe, right away here to hopefully render all this back in. But once it's done, once it's all rendered back in, I will come back and show you another video of what it was supposed to look like before this. So yeah, and here we have the blacksmith. As you can see, a lot of the stuff isn't rendered in. Well, I know that a lot of stuff isn't rendered in. Obviously, the floors and ceilings, or floors and walls are not rendered in, but a lot of the normal interior is. I have to give credits to the builder, which was, well, not the builder, but the decorator, which was Cotillion and Wise Owl, had done all this decorating. And a lot of the decor, the lanterns, the lights, the candles, the everything you would normally see in here, she had done. Of course, once again, this is the artisan's home or artisan building. And you can see right through the walls, right into the other buildings with no problem. And once again, of course, I know where the doors are at. I built the structures, so I'm aware of where all the doors are at. To my right was the for coins, for smelting coins, glass, and that sort of thing. And we're coming up to the dye shop now. This is where all the dyes are made and stored, and all the stuff and ingredients you would need for dyes are in there. And then down here is the leather works. This is where all the tanning, leather working goes on. And as you can see, all the flooring is missing again, the walls again. Obviously, a lot of the benches and tables are missing that I can clearly see. And you can see how close we built to the water line. It's pretty much flush to the water, as close as we could get it with the building tiles that would normally be there. So it looks like we're everything's floating on water right now. And my typical swinging for no reason. I seem to press the R2 button a little too often on occasion. And from here we're going to be going over to some of the other structures so you can see what is going on. As you can see, the other structures over the way there are completely missing their walls as well. All the flooring and side gates and stuff that we've got in here are all missing, but it's weird. The structure is there. It's just invisible, like the clothing on my character. It's invisible, but the structure is all there. And I believe here I'm going to show you where some of the outfits that I have in my inventory, I'm going to put them on to demonstrate that you can still see some of my body or whatever, and other parts you can't. So here we are. We're going to put on my helmet. Changes my hair pattern, because technically with the helmet on it gets rid of all your facial hair and your head hair. And then of course the headband again. It's strange enough, that headband is Yamati, and it does not cause my head to vanish. I was trying to get my head to disappear. And we're going back into the main structure here. This is where some of the animals are placed, like the camel here. And all the building pieces that I was using to build with are turned into these salvaged item boxes, which, if I'll open one up here, and you'll see that the salvaged items that come out of it are actually the material, as if I put it on the the one bench, the distance, or goodness sakes. Oh yeah, here we have a building hammer. Sorry, I used to call it disenchantment table, but anyway, the bench that takes your building blocks and changes them back to their original material, such as like the brick, stone, wood, twigs, whatever it was you used to make it. And here we're going to open one of these up, I believe, just to show you what it would give you. And there you go, the hardened brick, the wood, and the main components. A lot of those boxes were essentially a large amount of pieces of building blocks. And here I'm just playing around with the attribute tree to see what it actually does. And I've noticed that on the bottom, you no longer have to drink potions anymore to change your attributes or your knowledge points. So the yellow lotus potion is now missing, and a few other potions are no longer around, obviously, because you no longer need to drink them to reset your attributes or your feat points. Or, well, they were called feat points, now they're knowledge points. So anyway, a lot of that has changed up now, and I was just playing around here to see what the differences were, and to kind of sort out what it would have been like. I'm putting on my original gear here so you can see that it no longer changes your attribute stats anymore. It no longer adds pluses to it. So the helmet, the boots, everything else are now automatically add so much um, to your points, and they've changed all that up. So it no longer adds the pluses to the attribute tree. It just adds it directly. As you can see, their strength is plus 6% now. So it's no longer a stat change on the attribute. It's already incorporated into the gear. Like this one here, carrying capacity is plus 45. So it doesn't show it on the attribute tree that I now have a more higher carrying capacity, but it gives it to me as a on my stats tree. If you go to the stats, like I didn't here, it actually shows you, like this one here is strength plus 5, but when you add that, it doesn't actually add it to the attributes, which is weird. And I was just trying to show you here as well that different sets of armor or different sets of gear will show up, whereas other gear will not. That's the Athenian package, or whatever you want to call it, that killed was died. Um, as you can see, I'm just kind of messing around to show you some of the stuff. But yeah, so they changed up how armor works, how the attribute stats stack on your attribute tree. So don't go buying gear or getting gear or making gear specifically to give you bonuses to those regions anymore, as they no longer apply. They apply differently than they used to. So we're not able to change our attributes to get those huge bonuses to max out, like say strength or endurance that we had at the time. Now endurance and all that's been changed up. So, oops, I made a mistake there. I was trying to go back up, and of course I can't see the lever. I'm trying to find it here with my icon, my cursor. All the triggers and doors are obviously missing, but the flotsam pieces for some reason still show up. I'm not really sure why the flotsam chunks are still here in the map, but this was the witch's hut, as we called it, which is where we did all the brewing for alchemy and potion making and that sort of thing. This was the witch's hut that we had built specifically treetop high to give it more of a flair and a flavor to being an actual witch's hut. Now, again, all the decoration was done by Cotillion and Wise Owl, and as you can see, the flotsam pieces are still there, which technically were just the building block tool that I'd used and didn't remove it. But now that I know it's there, I'll come back and fix that later when all the blocks are reappeared. As you can see, the bridge is gone, and the platform that I would be standing on is also missing, along with all the decorative pieces to that. All the torches are just kind of floating on the bridge. Yeah, as you can see, all the flooring and all the tiles are missing entirely. We decided to build in the redwoods just for more of a Viking feeling, and that's why all the structures are built kind of Vikingish. Technically a longhouse, slightly changed up. And this one here is another type of Viking structure that we decided to go with, or that I decided to go with. And it's not rendering in for pot because a lot of the pieces are missing again. And of course I'm climbing a structured wall. Then I remembered where the bridge was and the stairs. So, and down there should be a bridge that goes across the whole thing, big rope bridge that spans across the entire gap. I'll use it now. As you can see, there should be a rope bridge here, but it is not. It's completely MIA. And then you have the carpenter's shack right there to the left, and the fishery hut over on our right, and the armor smith up top there. That's one of the 8 creatures. So this is the armory. This is where we do all the armor crafting, shields, and armor. As you can see, Cotillion Wiseall has displayed as much of it as possible, and she's done a wonderful job on the decorations. Unfortunately, a lot of them are missing right now. And this, of course, is the carpentry shop where all the mounting, head mounting, and bow making and arrows, anything to do with wood-based or that sort of material is used there, and it gets stored there as well. And of course, this is the fishery hut. We've got our fishing traps. And this is on the Isle of Sipta, by the way. This is the fishery that she's gone and decorated as well. And again, all the building blocks that are missing. A lot of the furniture that's missing as well. And we store anything to do with fish here, that sort of thing, you know, oil, whatever you need that's fishery based. And then I'm just running over through the woods. As you can see, the trees are missing a lot of the needles. So a lot of the spruce trees are missing needles and branches, which is odd. And then this was my building that I'd built for myself, which is missing a lot of itself. A lot of the structure is gone. A lot of the walls are gone. Fence gates, bridges, all the building blocks except for 3 over there, which are flotsam. That seems I had missed when I built the structure. Again, just using them as temp pieces to build off of and forgetting to remove them. And that's the animal pen. This was supposed to be my main house. It's small, and you can see how I used other structures to create a structure and then built off of that. I mean, yeah, floating bed, of course. In here I couldn't really find the door until I found it after. There's a lot of store, and I'm cutting across the bridge that's here, which overlooks the water, or allows the river to pass under it and then down the steps. And yeah, so there you have it. Just jump over here for a little quick nip in the water, and you can see that the rendering does not come back. It will not render in over time. It does not reappear over time. And down here, of course, I'm just checking to see if the treasury box and traps are still in its place. We decided to put a storage hold, so to speak, in the water with all these traps, just for multiplayer purposes, for fun. Kind of story content. And here you can see I got slowed down by the traps, crippled and bleed. And of course my character's stats are all reset, so everything affects me a little bit worse than it should. And back up here. So there you have it. We'll go and have a seat, and or maybe we'll go check the food court, or as we call it, the mead hall. I'm having troubles finding the door. A couple more flotsam pieces I noticed I missed again. But up here is where all our food is stored. Refrigeration. The tables are missing, of course. The chair seems to be there, but the bar table and all that's missing. Another door should be right here, but there's another one above. I'll just show you that one. And you're going to look down into where the cook would be, so all the cooking of the food gets done in there. And I'm having troubles navigating without walls again. And the door should be right here. There it is. And as you can see, once again, all the stuff is not growing. Doesn't show any of the foodstuffs there. There's another door here, which takes us out to a balcony that's missing. And down through this gate, and down here is where we wash all our dishes. So it's kind of an RP server, I guess you can say, but it's not really role play. We just do it for fun. Well, and that's the show for the day. So thank you for watching this little newscast, and I appreciate you all for being here. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.